think the honorable thing for our species to do is deny our programming. Stop reproducing. Walk hand in hand into extinction. One last midnight, brothers and sisters opting out of a raw deal.
Do not trust any friends or family members. I repeat, do not trust friends.
Well, my plan is just to sit on the toilet secretly for one.
Just go into the shitter and put some Candy Crush down?
Yeah. It'll be over before you know it. And then you'll come out, you'll be refreshed. Everyone's going to be socially exhausted. You're going to come in, a breath of fresh air. Everyone's going to want to talk to you, and they're going to love it. Because, this guy. Yeah. You'll be like, oh, yeah, don't you remember me, right? And you can, like, everybody's going to be drunk enough that you can just start, like, saying things, and it'll be loud, too, so they're not going to hear what you're saying.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You'll be like Patrick Bateman. What does he say? I'm into murders and
executions.
Executions.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Ever see the movie Mortal Kombat?
There you go. That'll open up.
Christopher Lambert.
Yeah. That's a good way to start another good way to start a conversation. You ever seen The Rock?
1996, hot off the presses. Do you like Sean Connery?
Yeah. Do you? Oh yeah, here at the Extinction Agenda, we're going in the cage. We're going.
We're going to The Rock.
Yeah,
not Dwayne Johnson.
No, not Dwayne Johnson. We are never going
Dwayne Johnson.
That particular Rock, but in our quest to come to some sort of understanding of the career of Nicolas Cage. I mean, he's done 132 films to date. So the prospect of doing all his movies is that cannot happen. Although
never say never.
Yeah, well, never say it's true. Why not? We've been doing this long enough. But the more I look around at his filmography, and like I've been dipping in just because I was sick earlier, and I thought I was on my Netflix. I was on the Netflix, and I was looking around at Nicolas Cage movies, and I put like a couple of them on just to sample like the first 5 minutes or so.
Ooh.
I don't know. There's something, at the very least, there's something interesting at play in the movies that he's selecting. Whether they're good or not is a different question. But he seems to be like a man on some sort of mission. Like, there's no reason that a Nepo baby should be doing 132 films. Like, he has no
he's just working and working and working and putting in like a manic amount of energy into every fucking role.
Yeah.
And that hasn't stopped. No.
And you see it in The Rock.
And we see 2 decades from now in Long Legs. The guy's a beautician.
Yeah. So The Rock, Michael Bay.
Yeah.
This is oh fuck, I should know this. This isn't like Michael Bay's first movie.
I don't believe so. I believe it's his favorite movie when asked.
Okay, well, I don't blame him. Although, I mean, from the man who did all the Transformers movies, I just find that insulting. But
well, yeah. Well, no, I don't think so. This is special.
No, those movies are hot trash.
Oh man, give Witwicky a break. The first one's absolute Hollywood gold.
The first Transformers movie. Okay, yes. Well, we're gonna have to come to that someday.
The other ones I can't. But the first one, I'm gonna fucking say it was lightning in a bottle.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have that feeling or recollection, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm like fine, Let's see here.
Speaking of lightning in a bottle, this here. Yeah. Did you know that Sean Connery
helped Bad Boys before this? Sorry.
Did you know that Sean Connery helped produce this?
I did. I learned that when I was looking up just some of the bits in the old Wikipedia.
I heard. Did you know that Disney is behind this movie and was also bird dogging Michael Bay into oblivion?
Yeah,
micromanaging him and giving him shit. And one day, Sean Connery, because he's a producer, he has every right to attend the meetings. He went to the meeting, I guess, in some kind of fucking schlubby golf outfit. and fucking the Disney execs shit their pants, and he said, "Fucking leave him alone. He's doing an excellent job."
Well, he probably did.
And there was the creative flow that finished the film, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of things that contribute to this movie. Like, what is it? It's got a bunch of Spielberg stuff going on, like all that stuff underneath Alcatraz.
Goonies, kind of bit Goonies.
Yeah. It's not as quick cut as you're going to get from him later, but it's still faster than most movies at the time.
Yeah. Oh, the action holds up. Like it's a fucking mess. Like the transitions between action sequences, like this is truly an action movie.
Oh yeah, there's no slowing. Well, they're slowing down bits, but just for the sake of like getting those emotional beats.
Which doesn't do a bad job hitting.
No, not at all. No, I had a great time. I always kind of liked this movie. Back when I saw it a million times when we were 16.
I mean, this is like a VHS must-have in '96.
Yeah. And it's got that sweet spot, that dad sweet spot where it's like there's a lot of action, there's a little bit of sex, and there's a nagging girlfriend who wants to get married, and then there's lots of humor, and guys like being pissed off at each other, which is this
is a perfect movie actually when you're 16 to learn how to be a proper man.
Yeah. I suppose.
Would you classify this as toxic masculinity?
No, I wouldn't. I think that I don't think so, because like nobody's hurting themselves or whatever. Like they are on a sort of righteous mission. No one's over drinking and like threatening everybody needlessly like the bad guys are. And that's
that's a different story.
Yeah, but this is a buddy cop movie, essentially.
Yeah, sort of a father figure sort of bromance movie, and both of them are like Nicolas Cage is apprehensive about having a child and getting married. He's young in this film, but then the juxtaposition is that the Sean Connery figure is also trying to be a better father because he was in jail. Both men trying to improve their status as better men. Pretty good way.
So it's anti-toxic masculinity in that sense. I mean, like, I'm sure there's a host of individuals looking at like this being a Michael Bay movie with all its violence and whatnot, and knee-jerk reaction saying like, oh, it's just boys and their toys. That's going on. I mean, but that's a Michael Bay film.
Well, don't be a pussy.
Yeah, that's right. But this movie could have been really disgusting, or could always, like any Michael Bay movie, could be incredibly disgusting but he's really interested in honorable, action-oriented men who keep their word and do the right thing or do the wrong thing for the right reasons, that kind of thing, ride or die. He's the original ride or die.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Bad Boys, but
that's a different. If you want to go there, that's a whole different animal.
Yeah. I think it's in the same sort of universe. I mean, but this one, yeah. Okay, so we've got.
Give your plot synopsis here, right? Is this?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, just like the basics are pretty. Yeah. It's pretty cool. So this is kind of the story of Ed Harris. It opens up with Ed Harris. Agent Hummel, Brigadier General Hummel, who Bay opens it up pretty slickly with like he's at the general's at a funeral, and in the background there's all this radio chatter, like, oh, you need to help us, sir. They're not coming, are they? And then,
we're not authorized to go across foreign borders.
Yeah. Then, so you get the whole drama within a music video montage, which is like,
it was neat. You didn't hold your hand, really.
Yeah. And then in a way he did, but he just did it very quickly. He just like, come on.
yeah, which I like. You like that.
Yeah. And he's part of the with David Fincher and James. Oh, did James Cameron do music videos? I don't think so. Actually, I don't remember now. But definitely David Fincher. That breed of Hollywood directors that came out of music videos, like that sensibility's there. So anyway, Ed Harris, he needs to do something drastic because like some kids got left behind, and Congress wouldn't do anything about it, and they wouldn't pay insurance or reparations to the family for the sacrifice of their children. So already we get like a major theme in Michael Bay's work, which is like this real, like I'm thinking of what was that, 13 days, the secret warriors of Benghazi or whatever. Bay is like has a real hard on not just for the military but also a real sympathy for the veteran, and those who get soldiers getting screwed over by the state. It's kind of
Yeah, that's one of the neat things about the themes in this too, is that there's a real comfort level with the difference between the military and the men who serve and the people who are veterans and the government being extremely comfortable fucking them over. And I'm very comfortable accepting this as a complete true story. Like not the entire thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But the fact that like there are men that did engaged in certain service levels and were not paid reparations or funerals or anything. That fucking I don't think I need to Google it to find out that that's probably true. And also it's just easy to believe. It's easy to palate.
And it's definitely very 90s. It's very X-Files. It's very like we're going to talk about it, but the microfilm that becomes part of the real, want to know who really killed JFK? Like that knee-jerk and acceptable belief in massive government cover-ups and conspiracies and that sort of thing is just in the background, just totally accepted, not interrogated. Like they know about Roswell, and you're like, is he joking? But like, maybe not.
No, serious. Yeah. I'm good with it too.
Which leads me to think that perhaps this takes place in the same universe as Transformers. But I just to me now.
Yeah, exactly. There is the Bayverse, right? It's a thing.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Oh, essentially. I mean, I'm starting to think of it that way now. So Ed Harris, he wants to get justice, I guess, for his fallen soldiers, and so he concocts a crazy scheme of essentially blackmail. He gets all these mercenaries together and other soldiers who have gotten screwed over, and he first steals some VX gas and rockets for delivery. We get a nice view of like what VX gas is like. Awful.
Yeah, that's fun. Is the VX gas a real thing? Do you know?
Oh no, it is. Yeah, it absolutely is. Now, whether or not it does the things that even the history that Stanley Goodspeed gives of it, how it was sort of accidentally discovered. It was, I understand it to be the case that it was discovered in the 1930s in Germany, IB Farben, that kind of thing. And I suspect someone died horribly in the discovery. I don't know how you discover that without a little bit of an accident. But I don't know anything about that. So anyway, this movie made me fucking shit scared of nerve gas. And it's around the time that like Desert Storm and that sort of thing. I mean, like sarin gas is being deployed. So it's in the consciousness, it's in the news. We don't really talk about chemical attacks unless Syria gets up to it, and that wasn't last time that happened was under Obama, I think. So anyway,
Jesus,
this is all really topical.
But it's true. I don't remember a time before this, and you know what I mean. Like we're pretty big cinephiles even at the time, right? Working at Blockbuster Video, so on and so forth, and like we were pounding out movies at that age, and that was maybe the first time I was like exposed to some kind of horrible military weapon where it could like stay with you in your dreams a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it was that, and Bay and James Cameron shared this. Cameron's apocalypse is it's just nuclear warfare, right? Like that's his apocalypse. But Michael Bay's apocalypses are either like chemical warfare, bombing, that kind of thing, or fucking Transformers. You know, it goes truly sort of cosmic in its apocalypticism.
And there is only when a rogue general kidnaps 4 rockets, which the fun part about the VX gas and the rockets and everything was their varying degrees of horror. Like a teaspoon of this stuff will clear a room out of about 100 feet. Everybody will die this horrible death. The fun part when they're stealing the rockets is the guy that dies from them fucking dropping one of the rockets. And so you get to see the effects of this shit. So you're immediately horrified. And then the other cool part about it is that when they start talking about the rockets, they're like, if they detonate in the atmosphere and this shit can atomize, you could kiss fucking San Francisco goodbye, or like the fucking 8-block radius or whatever, and he's got 4 of them, and you're like, holy fuck, what? So that's when it gets like really cool. The imagination starts like spreading, and there is only one way to stop a rogue general like this. 2 things: you need a Navy SEAL incursion, because that's fucking cool as hell, and then you need how are you gonna get into Alcatraz? No one's ever escaped. Wait. One person has escaped, James Bond.
Yes.
And then, what are you going to do about the fucking nerve gas and the rockets? Well, fucking ultra cool, I don't know, was this the first time we've seen a cool nerd in cinema?
Probably not, but definitely.
No, I don't know. I'm going to say it is.
Blockbuster.
It's the first time we've ever seen a cool nerd in cinema. He's playing a Les Paul. He's got a beautiful hairy chest. He does his girlfriend, impregnates her. He's the pinnacle of manliness, and also he defuses a bomb at work like a fucking absolute gangster. And he is your chemical weapons expert, FBI agent.
And he's very calm under pressure. Like he's a goof, but like our first introduction to Stanley Goodspeed is like he gets a Beatles record that he's spent $600 on. So that gets your thing, you know. He does this whole this Rube Goldberg apparatus that ends with a hula hoop skirt girl bursting into flames, a little toy or whatever, and then he gets his record. And so we're introduced to someone who's intricate and interesting and kind of a goof, but then when it comes time to defuse a bomb that his fucking stupid asshole assistant essentially set off, and panics the entire time. You know, Stanley's revealed to be ultra competent, and defuses the bomb and that kind of thing, and then
saves his idiot assistant's life.
Yeah, and everybody else, and but then he's still he doesn't take any macho out of the workplace as a consequence or whatever. Like he's a little stressed about it. He's unwinding. He's still goofy. So you're right. He's a cool nerd.
And then that we're also introduced almost paralleling to John Patrick Mason, who they need to help them break into the Alcatraz, which is he's just like that one's the funnest part for me, which I don't think I keyed into until like I was older or now, that's just a James Bond analog. That's supposed to be James Bond got captured at the fucking Canadian border with these conspiracy microfilms, and he was disavowed by the British SAS. He didn't give up the microfilms, so they threw him in fucking jail for the rest of his life, and they basically need his help. And there's basically an FBI director who's terrified of the fucking guy because he's absolutely a fucking killing machine. FBI director Womack, excuse me.
Yeah, played by John Spencer, who I fucking love. I love John. Give me some John Spencer.
He was great. Actually, the cast. Oh my god, what a cast! You can't do that very often.
Yeah. I gotta say honestly, I haven't watched this movie in decades.
Me either.
And so this is the first time I realized it was James Bond. I knew it was Sean Connery. I knew that Sean Connery played James Bond, and for whatever stupid reason, I just didn't I didn't make the connection, but yeah, it's totally fucking James Bond. Um, and I love that. I love that as a little bit. Why not?
Yeah,
And so,
because you're doing a wacky action movie. You're doing a
yeah,
full fantasy paramilitary. Like he's just riffing off things, right? Even the Michael Bain, the
yeah,
introduction with the Navy SEALs team, he's hilarious. They pulled him in and he did his aliens shtick.
yeah.
And
Which
that
was
was
good.
and that was like, he even some of the quotes even turned over. I don't know if you caught those, but
I think this was that was a common role, I think, for Bane post Aliens. Like he also did that movie Navy SEALs with, um, you know what fucking movie I'm talking about with
oh yeah, is that a fucking, oh my
what's
god,
that stupid asshole's name? Three Men and a Baby, or no,
Charlie Sheen. It's a
two and a half
Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
Some
Thank you.
Sheens, yeah, in
Yeah,
there.
some other fucking guy. Anyway, so that was just a thing that he did. But yeah, they there's a sort of media literacy that of that Michael Bay has, like that is often, I don't know, sort of denied, or yeah, well, I don't know, just sort of denied. But I think maybe one of the reasons is, well, because his movies are kind of fucking dumb. But I mean, they're just
Yeah,
like
fair.
loud action bits. I think this movie, I don't know what to do with this movie because, okay, so another thing with the Wikipedia, they got two writers included, but apparently like there was a bunch of fucking writers on this, and the
Quentin
writers,
Tarantino is
yeah, yeah, right,
whatever.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was apparently he was on the writer list and he's uncredited.
Yeah, yeah, and you got Sorkin, and you got the guy who did Die Hard with a Vengeance, and you've just got like, I hear so many different voices and different character types, and there's a real mismatch behind the scenes, and like it all adds up to fucking gold. But um, yeah, this is a really strong script that you don't always have with
This
Michael.
type of movie,
Yeah, yeah, with
even
this.
not just Michael Bay, but this type of action thriller doesn't carry a script like this very often.
Yeah, yeah. So they all go in, and the Navy SEALs or whatever. So they're like, wow. So what does Hummel want? He wants a $500 million or something like
Yeah,
that
like
from.
100 million. He wants $1 million for 83 fallen soldiers, and then the rest is $1 million each for his mercenaries, so that they can bail out of
Right,
the
right.
country, which is actually pretty fucking reasonable. I think the funniest thing about that is how comfortable the government is killing them and all those civilians
Yeah,
for $100 million that really they actually owe to those families.
yeah.
That's funny to me.
Hmm.
In addition to being funny, it's very realistic. Again,
Well, they're
I
not.
believe the government would do that.
Yeah, they're not going to negotiate with terrorists.
Well, we call it what you want, but yeah, they're scumbags.
I don't know, man.
So
Let's
it's
think
just
of the
clean.
position. So let's say, here's the problem. I mean, game it out. So let's say they gave $100 million to General Hummel or whatever, and they did it within the 24 hours, where, due to blackmail. There's like major weapons. Okay, how about this? Let's say Russia, who has nuclear weapons pointed at San Francisco, was like, give us $100 million or we'll blow up your city. And like, we'd never fucking do that.
Yeah,
we,
that's fair. That's
we would
fair.
kill a bunch of people in order to stop them from doing the thing. Like, we sympathize with Hummel, and think that what he's doing, like, he's doing the wrong thing for the right reason.
That's a fun thing too, to have to root for the bad guy immediately. That puts you in a funny position as a viewer. And that's hard to do. It's hard to sympathize with the bad guy. Usually you just get a pure bad guy. I'm not sympathizing with Voldemort.
Yeah.
This is a fun thing to do. And like you say, what do you need? You need a great script if you're gonna try this move.
Yeah. I think that getting back to, how this could have been negotiated, and I know it's not that type of movie, but like people on the other side could have been very easily could have been like, okay, fine, we'll pay to the families, right? We'll do that, but we're not going to give you any money. So take it or leave it. And then you can call Sally so and so to demonstrate that she's gotten the money. That
That'd be
maybe
more.
something that would be how something like this would
No
be
movie exists, I
created.
guess, with that.
Yeah, yeah. And then if fucking Hummel's like, well, but we want all the money. Well, then fuck you, man. Like you're engaged in an act of warfare. And
That
we're
would
going
make
to
him.
thermite plasma your ass out of existence.
That would make Hummel the real bad guy instead of the government.
Yes. Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't want that.
You don't. Not if you're Michael Bay.
No.
He has such an ambiguous relationship with like I think you were right. Like there is a tier. Like the military's good, almost by default. But somehow the government is fucking shit. It's very conservative vision. Like socially conservative, like right, Republican American at that time, and probably still now. Yeah, like the federal government's terrible, but like Commander in Chief, a-okay.
I
Yeah.
love it. You know what one of the funny things too is while you're building your Navy SEAL team,
Mhm.
which apparently had real Navy SEALs in it.
Oh, okay,
Or some of the guys were. That was
okay.
a little cool factoid. One of the fun things too that they did was I love as you're building the SEAL team, you get more introduced to Hummel's men, and they have like the worst like red flag dudes on their team, like David Morse, the Major Tom Baxter character,
Yeah, yeah.
and fucking Tony Todd, the Candyman, whatever. And fucking Bukim, they're all just this like recluse team of like they're obviously all horrible typecast villains.
Right, right.
So that they're gonna go sideways,
Yeah, yeah.
and you get that first taste of it. That Hummel's the only honorable person on their squad, or the major and the general are the only two honorable men on the squad, and that everybody else is like sort of a sideways mercenary because when they kill the Marines in the first piece of the incursion. He's ordering them to stop firing, and they're not till they're all
like,
dead.
They're loving it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're even their costuming slightly different. Like they're coded so to be different from Hummel and his dude, and we're led to believe that his sidekick is righteous. But
The major, yeah.
But then again, like I don't know. Once you're in for a penny, in for a pound. Like what? Like Hummel's plan is stupid. Like this would never.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we talked about this secondary plan. We'll get 4 hostages, and in a helicopter. We'll get out of here. And I'm just, well, where are you gonna go? And like,
then he's like, that's the funny part too when he's like, we bluffed. They called it. Mission's over. We fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what, bro?
Yeah. Like you could have accomplished this same goal by kidnapping a bus or something. You didn't have to threaten all of San Francisco. I guess the idea is like go as big as you can, and the government can't. Like they can't deny you, but I don't know.
Yeah, that was the hilarious thing. They had hostages. You literally could have omitted the gas.
They could have, although then I guess they would have sweat them out. Like you do have, I guess a time limit is helpful, but I mean 24 hours or 48 hours, that's not really a lot of time even to get like a bank transfer done in 1996.
I still can't do that now. It takes a couple days.
Yeah, it takes fucking time, man. So like I know all things are possible when money's involved, but and the government, etc. I'm sure they would have figured something out. Yeah. So the action in this is pretty fucking cool, but it also isn't. It's a lot of gunplay. It's a lot of Yeah, it's a lot of
outside of the Ferrari chase.
Yes, yeah. That, as I was speaking, I was like, actually, I skipped a whole thing where there's this like needless fucking chase.
Well, that's all to establish the James Bond character. What the fuck? I keep losing his name. Mason. That's to like establish the danger of him, like, which is hilarious. It's true to have an unwilling James Bond retiree James Bond participant on your team. He fucking throws the FBI director off the balcony with that little fucking
the Garrett
cord
thing
attached to his wrist or whatever, and then leaves Nicolas Cage to pull him back up like a donkey while he bails out and goes to see his daughter. And he knows he's gonna get caught, but he's funny because he's just so horrifically dangerous and capable. Like he did millions of dollars in damage.
Yeah. And it was a lot of distraction stuff, like he orders all this food, or like they immediately set up this distinction, and this gets to what you were saying about like the government being shitty, is like there's all this bureaucracy and all these dirty deals, and even the FBI agents that are guarding him, they're so easily, you just throw some lobster at them and they're like, hey, never mind, the boss is watching them, it's fucking dumb. But Stanley Goodspeed, even though he's not a tough guy, he's a hero. He's action oriented, and so the first thing he steals is I don't know, what is that, like a yellow Ferrari or something?
Yeah, and he's effective.
Yeah.
At problem solving, under pressure, established very early.
Yeah. So yeah, he just chases after Mason, goes toe for toe with James Bond. Steals a motorbike along the way.
It's the only way you're going to catch him.
Yeah.
You're going to need a vehicle swap.
Yeah, and he figures it out on the fly. Like while he's on a fucking motorbike, he calls his buddy at the lab and he problem solves, so like figuring out about Mason, and where he can find the daughter and that kind of thing. And he puts it all together. And so like when Mason is found, he can do the right thing, he realizes what's at play, which is that Mason wants to reconnect or connect for the first time with his daughter because he's been in prison for 30 years. And all the cops show up and she's like, oh, you escaped again, that kind of thing. And Goodspeed gives him an honorable out in that instance and makes him seem like a hero. And it's a good way to bring James Bond on side,
Yeah, it was smooth. That's when he sort of wins him over that he's gonna go along with this. You almost get the impression he goes along with it to make sure Goodspeed doesn't die.
Yeah, well, also, I think he is also hoping to escape in the process.
Yeah. He would like to make sure Goodspeed doesn't die and also get away, but Goodspeed's a fucking donkey, so he does have to prevent him from dying more often maybe than allows for him to escape.
Yeah. And he doesn't understand the chemical problem, like the VX gas and all that stuff. Like that doesn't really compute for him until they're disarming the first rocket. And it's that contrast, the impotence of James Bond in that moment in comparison to Stanley as he's taking control of the situation. Like they're equalized in that moment. Oh.
I know it's true. That's the hilarity too of his tactics, sort of being brutally practical, but also semi-aged out compared to the new modern weaponry, right? A testament to our American military.
Oh, right. Well, VX gas existed back then too.
Oh, fair. Oh, yeah. Well, see, it shouldn't have been quite so. Also, what do you think of the beauty design on that gas, eh?
Oh,
the little green marbles filled with fucking poison jelly, just such a tangible, like such a visceral thing, and they clack together and like it's just fucking, I don't know. I always thought that's such a beautiful design. That's one of the you remember that, like, it's brilliant.
No, and it's fragile, like it's like you're like, why is it? Who built it like that? Like I do wonder whether or not there's any truth to the structure, or the idea, but frankly, I don't care if there is. Like, it's for the same reason I don't care. Like later on in the movie when Nicolas Cage, like one of those little things rolls down the ground and he grabs it, fucks and puts it in his fucking pocket, and then engaged in a fist fight with someone. Like he's bashed through a window and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, you're both dead. I had a lot of trouble suspending disbelief on that one. Did he put it into like a pocket universe?
Yeah. Oh, that was okay for me.
Yeah. But it does show up later when he shoves it in that dude's fucking mouth. And we get another case of Chekhov's gun in this. Only it's Chekhov's like heart atropine or whatever it's fucking called, like that needle.
Yeah.
Look at it. You want me to put this in my fucking heart?
Are you fucking out of your mind?
Yeah. I love one thing I love about a Michael Bay movie is the case you've got, like in that scene, getting back to the first disposal scene with Goodspeed. There's the frantic music. There's all these motions. There's the gas being sucked up. There's the water that's theoretically meant to be coming down. There's the freaked out, like there's the melting gloves and stuff like that. And there's all this music, and the whole time there's all this radio chatter and back and forth, and like some of it's funny and some of it's tense. And he just manages to maintain that, you know, like not constantly throughout, but like he'll bring that out. Like it's a technique that he often employs. Like someone will just yell something fucking funny in the middle of a really tense scenario to break it up, you know, like, that's what makes these things not give me a headache. Because it could very easily just like, you know.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you've got him going on a speech in a prison cell. What's with the prepubescent anger, man? You know, just going on this like monologue that's fucking hilarious, and it's just like it's a nice break from the serious tone, punching in the face and machine gunning into laboratories and stuff shit. But yeah, there's so many the great quips back and forth and the
losers always talk about their best. I always think about that. Actually, I do think about that scene where Nicolas Cage is on the prison floor. You know, like, I'm gonna enjoy gutting you, boy.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I know. Carla was the prom queen.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was in this movie, but it makes sense.
Yeah, that was Tony Todd, our. You had to know that the dude that just the guys they chose for the bad guys. There's a couple actors that Gregory Sporlader or whatever, Captain Fry and Captain Darrow, like those guys were hugely problematic.
But yeah. So that like he knows how to. I think there was an unfinished thought from earlier about that, which is that I had said that they even coded the costumes, but the casting director, they knew what they were doing. And it's a shorthand, you know, audiences know these figures. Like we've all seen them in action movies or whatever, and we know who the baddie bads are. Most of them, you know, I hate to say it, a lot of them are black, or a lot of them are like different ethnicities and that sort of thing. But we know Ed Harris is good because he's just a blue-eyed Aryan soldier. I don't want to
good. He's just a good guy.
Yeah.
Okay. No, in all fairness, we're not. I didn't really go that way. I was like, that's legitimately the Candyman. It's the worst bad guy.
Oh, for sure.
You cast a horror actor bad guy in hilarious fashion. We knew he was going to be an absolute G in that role. I just thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you think about the yelling match between Michael Biehn and Ed Harris?
Oh, but during the
lower your weapons, I will not give that order.
Yeah.
That's a great scene. Such a good scene.
Yeah, and like they build up this tension, you know, like there's and then it gets broken by just someone like accidentally knocks over some bricks or whatever, and then like fucking all hell breaks loose. But it was all set to go loose, right? There was
It's
no way
ludicrous
Michael
that he
Bay.
wouldn't tell his guys to drop their weapons.
I don't know. Maybe he was counting on Hummel not opening fire, right? That was an early attempt to call his bluff, and the only reason it went bad is because of it was
Because
an
the
accident.
guys on the team.
Yeah. That's a possibility, or also that like they have orders, and there's 81 hostages and VX gas, so but we're not just going to become more hostages.
Fair.
Yeah. So this was, I don't know, this is a great movie. They're not all going to be when, the trips to the cage they're not all going to be the prom.
They're not all going to bear this fruit, but this one in particular, I don't know. There's nothing, you can't even say anything about it. Go treat yourself. It's an 8 out of 10. No, you're not going to beat it.
You're not gonna except for the thing with the VX gas in his pocket, whatever. That's the only thing I got fussy about.
That's your plot hole?
I don't know. It was just dumb. Like you could have. There had to have been another way to to introduce the VX gas at the important moment. Like it just like rolls to his hand somehow. Like it had gotten away. I don't know, man. I don't know. But there's been better. Who am I to judge perfection, though?
That's fair.
Now, all we need is a little energon and a lot of luck.